Good morning, class 12th commerce. This is your subject economics, chapter number 5, banking, lecture number 4. In this lecture, we'll discuss about qualitative measure of monetary policy and the function of central bank. In the previous lecture, we discussed about quantitative measures of monetary policy. Now we shall discuss about the qualitative measures of monetary policy. So let's begin with our lecture. See, first is margin requirement, second is rationing of credit, third one is moral suasion, and fourth is selective credit control. This fourth point might not be given in your book, but this is very important from the exam perspective. So we will discuss all these 4 points: margin requirement, rationing of credit, moral suasion, and selective credit control. You can note down the number 4 in your book. Okay. So let's begin with the margin requirement. What is margin requirement? It refers to the difference between the current value of collateral security and value of loan offered. Suppose a person mortgage his house worth rupees 1 crore with the bank for a loan of rupees 80 lakh. So here the margin requirement is rupees 20 lakh because he has mortgaged the home of rupees 1 crore and he is getting the loan of rupees 80 lakh. So difference between rupees 1 crore and 80 lakh is 20 lakhs. So this 20 lakh is the margin requirement. Clear? The margin requirement is raised when the supply of credit needs to be curbed. The margin requirement is lowered when the supply of credit is to be increased. So often the margin requirement is kept high for the speculation activities. So we can say that this policy instrument is used more like the instrument of selective credit control. Now let's understand how this margin requirement policy works. See, suppose if the RBI increases the margin requirement, that means if you are mortgaging the house worth rupees 1 crore, so you will get a loan of rupees 60 lakhs only. So here earlier the margin requirement was 20 lakh. Now the RBI has increased the margin requirement and here the margin requirement is now 40 lakhs only. So earlier it was 20 lakh, now it is 40 lakh. RBI has increased the margin requirement. Why? Because RBI don't want to supply more money in the economy. RBI wants to control over the inflationary situation. So RBI will order the commercial banks to supply less amount. Fine. RBI will not allow the commercial bank to supply as much money as they want. Fine. So when the RBI orders the commercial bank to increase the margin requirement, so there will be fall in the demand for credit, there will be fall in the demand for loan. Now if there will be fall in the demand for loan, there will be fall in the supply of loan by the commercial banks, and accordingly there will be fall in money supply, and the situation of inflation will be swiped out from the economy. Clear? Now take this opposite. When the RBI decreases the margin requirement, अब RBI ने कहा है कि अगर 1 करोड़ का लोन है तो हम आपको 90 लाख देंगे, तो डिफरेंस कितना हुआ 1 करोड़ 90 लाख में? सिर्फ 10 लाख का। जहां पे पहले 20 लाख मार्जिन रिक्वायरमेंट थी, 40 लाख मार्जिन रिक्वायरमेंट थी, मार्जिन रिक्वायरमेंट कम हो गई है, इट इज जस्ट 10 लाख। तो दैट मीन्स अब RBI wants के लोगों के पास ज्यादा पैसा आए. Now people can raise more money, and this will be done in the situation of deflation when there is less money supply in the economy. Fine. So fall in the margin requirement, there will be rise in the demand for credit. And when there will be rise in the demand for credit, there will be rise in the supply of credit by the commercial bank. Now, similarly, there will be rise in the money supply and deflation situation will be curbed. So, margin requirement, it refers to the difference between the current value of the collateral security and the value of loan. So whenever there is any increase or decrease in the margin requirement, it is the difference that increases or decreases. It is the difference between the collateral value and the value of loan. Fine? Okay. So this was our first point, margin requirement. Let's move to the second point, that is rationing of credit. See, what is rationing of credit? Rationing of credit means fixation of credit quotas. The RBI is fixing the credit quotas for different business activities. Rationing of credit is introduced when the flow of credit is to be checked, particularly for speculative activities in the economy. The RBI fixes credit quota for different business activities. So here certain limit is fixed by RBI. RBI decides certain amount or certain percentage of quota, and only that much quota amount will be offered to the different business activities. Fine. So the commercial bank cannot exceed the quota limits while granting the loans. That means this restricts the supply of loan or credit in the economy, and the inflation is curbed. On the other hand, rationing of credit, if already in practice, is withdrawn to increase the supply of money, this curbs the deflation. So in this point, rationing of credit, it is not like that कि government will increase the rationing of credit or government will decrease the rationing of credit. No, it's not like that. It's just that whenever there is situation of inflation, government will introduce the policy of rationing of credit, and if so, when there is situation of inflation, RBI will introduce the rationing of credit policy. That means now RBI will fix certain quotas. But when the situation is of deflation, RBI will withdraw this quota fixation. RBI will withdraw its policy of rationing of credit. Fine. Then comes moral suasion. See, moral suasion means playing with the moral values. Here RBI says to the commercial bank, either you obey my orders, otherwise I'll punish you. Otherwise I'll take strict actions against you. Fine. So in moral suasion, sometimes RBI make the member banks agree through persuasion, through pressure or giving orders. The member banks generally do not ignore the advice of RBI. The banks are advised to restrict the loans during inflation and be liberal in lending the loans during deflation. So यहाँ पे there is a mutual understanding between the RBI and the commercial bank. RBI just ask them that whenever it is a situation of inflation, आप खुद अपना कंट्रोल कीजिए, और whenever it is a situation of deflation, आप खुद अपनी क्रेडिट पॉलिसी इंक्रीज कर दीजिए, आप खुद लिबरल हो जाइए लोगों को लोन देने के लिए. Fine. So in this situation, directly RBI do not make any policy. It's just pursued, or it's just give the order to the commercial bank that work accordingly according to the situations. Fine. Next is selective credit control. See, selective credit control, it refers to the discriminatory policy of the central bank relating to the selected sectors of the economy. That means flow of credit to the certain sectors may be encouraged with the view to increase the production in these sectors. There is a positive application of selective credit control. On the other hand, central bank may decide to restrict the availability of credit to certain non-priority sectors. Generally, during the period of inflation, availability of credit for speculative activity is discouraged. That means people sometimes take the loan for the storage of food grains. Fine. So during inflation, lending loan to these activities is discouraged. This is a negative application of selective credit control. See, selective credit control का मतलब होता है कि कुछ सेक्टर को आप लोन दीजिए, encouraged, these sectors are encouraged for giving the loans, while certain sectors are discouraged कि आप इन सेक्टर को लोन नहीं दोगे. This is what known as selective credit control. So this was the policy of selective credit control, that it favors some selective sectors, it gives loan to some selective sectors, whereas it discourages loan to non-priority sectors. Fine. So in margin requirement, rationing of credit, moral suasion and selective credit control, these are the 4 qualitative instruments of monetary policy. What were the quantitative instruments of the monetary policy? Quantitative instruments were bank rate, CRR, SLR, repo rate, reverse repo rate. So all these technical terms or all these technical words, they all were there in the quantitative monetary policy. Monetary policy are made by RBI, whereas fiscal policy is made by the government. This is the most important question of 1 mark, that fiscal policy is made by government and monetary policy is made by RBI. So we did 4 qualitative measures and there were 5 or 6 quantitative instruments. Fine. So in this point, moral suasion, one more thing I need to explain you here, that RBI tries to persuade the commercial bank to follow its direction, but if persuasion doesn't work, it uses the required pressure as an apex bank of the country. पहले तो आरबीआई प्यार से समझाएगा कि फॉलो माय इंस्ट्रक्शंस. अगर बैंक इसकी इंस्ट्रक्शंस फॉलो नहीं करते हैं तो फिर आरबीआई बताएगा कि आई एम द एपेक्स बैंक, मैं सबसे बड़ा बैंक हूं एंड यू विल फॉलो माय ऑर्डर्स, अदरवाइज आई विल कैंसिल योर मेंबरशिप, अदरवाइज आई विल नॉट ऑफर द लोन टू यू व्हेनेवर यू विल रिक्वायर, और आई विल नॉट ऑफर द इंटरेस्ट अमाउंट व्हेनेवर यू विल रिक्वायर. Clear with this? Okay. So we have discussed about the quantitative and qualitative measures. Now it's the time to discuss about the central bank. India's central bank is RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Fine. So there is no standard definition of a central bank, but definition depends upon the functions. However, a common function that a central bank performs in all the economies of the world is that it controls and manages the flow of credit and supply of money in the economy. Every central bank has one function. It operates to control the economy. It supplies the money and credit in the economy. Bank of England is the central bank in UK. Federal Reserve System in USA and RBI in India. So first important function of central bank is issue notes. RBI issue notes. Central bank of a country has the exclusive right, or I should say monopoly right, of issuing notes. This is known as currency authority function of the central bank. So actually till the beginning of 20th century, central bank was known as bank of issue. The notes issued by the central bank are an unlimited legal tender. So what do you mean by unlimited legal tender? Unlimited legal tender, that means RBI ने जो नोट इशू किए हैं वो ऑल ओवर कंट्री एप्लीकेबल है एंड नो वन कैन डिनाई टू एक्सेप्ट योर नोट्स. आप कहीं पर भी जाओगे इंडिया के किसी भी कोने में, कोई ये नहीं बोल सकता है हम आपके नोट एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेंगे इफ दे आर इशूड बाय आरबीआई और वो नकली नोट नहीं है. तो everyone will accept your notes. Fine. Second point is banker to the government. Central bank is a banker, an agent and the financial advisor to the government. As a banker to the government, it manages the accounts of the government. As an agent to the government, it buys and sells the security on the behalf of the government. As an advisor to the government, it frames the policy to regulate the money supply. तो बैंक के गवर्नमेंट के तीन फंक्शन करता है, एक बैंकर का, एक एजेंट का और एक फाइनेंशियल एडवाइजर का. फाइन. सो सेंट्रल बैंक ऑल्सो ऑफर्स लोन टू द गवर्नमेंट अगेंस्ट गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी और ट्रेजरी बिल्स. In the situation when its revenue falls short of its expenditure, the government often seeks loan from the RBI. This is known as deficit financing through borrowing from RBI. Clear? Okay. So when the government expenditure exceeds the government revenue and the deficit is managed by borrowings from RBI, it is known as deficit financing by borrowing from RBI. We'll study this deficit financing and all this government related function in the chapter government budget. But for now you need to understand that RBI performs three functions of the government: as a financial advisor, as an agent and as the banker. As a banker, it supplies money to the government at the time of deficit. As an advisor, it give advices related to the monetary policy or the fiscal policy. And as a agent, it sells and buys the security on the behalf of the government. Then bankers bank and supervisory role. Bankers bank means ये banks का भी bank है. That means it is the apex body. Fine. It is the apex institution of the banking system. So as a banker's bank, it has almost the same relation with the other banks in the country as a commercial bank has with its customer. जैसी relation commercial bank की अपने customers के साथ होती है, वैसी ही relation RBI की अपने commercial bank के साथ होती है. Fine. It accepts the deposit from the commercial bank and offers them loan. The rate at which central bank offers the loan to the commercial bank is known as repo rate. The rate at which commercial banks are allowed to park their surplus fund with RBI is known as reverse repo rate. So central bank also provides clearing house facilities to the commercial bank. So it is a check clearing facility provided at one center to all the banks. Now what it does as a supervisory role? In its supervisory role, central bank ensures that the commercial bank show compliance to its directives, particularly relating to the CRR and SLR. सुपरवाइज करता है कि बैंक अपने CRR और SLR अच्छे से मैनेज कर रहे हैं नहीं कर रहे हैं, मेंटेन कर रहे हैं नहीं कर रहे हैं. And it also checks whether these commercial banks are following its rules and regulations or not. So उनको सुपरवाइज करता है. It ensures that commercial banks show the compliance to its changes so that desired targets are achieved. देखो आरबीआई ने रूल बना दिए हैं, लेकिन कमर्शियल बैंक अगर फॉलो नहीं करेगा तो इकोनॉमी तो इज नलिफाइड, इकोनॉमी की एक्टिविटी जीरो हो जाएंगी. सो फॉर दैट आरबीआई कीप्स अ वॉच ऑन द एक्टिविटीज ऑफ कमर्शियल बैंक. फाइन. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट वी हैव लेंडर ऑफ लास्ट रिजॉर्ट. लेंडर ऑफ लास्ट रिजॉर्ट का मतलब ये होता है कि अगर क्राइसिस की सिचुएशन हो जाती है, कमर्शियल बैंक्स जो है बैंकरप्ट हो जाते हैं, तो लास्ट सिचुएशन में कौन काम आता है? आरबीआई. सो वी नो दैट कमर्शियल बैंक्स क्रिएट liabilities in the form of demand deposits, and that liability is created many more times than their cash reserve. This we have discussed in the previous chapter, in the previous lecture about the money multiplier. फाइन. तो डिपॉजिट से बहुत ज्यादा क्रिएशन करता है वो मनी की इन द इकोनॉमी. That is known as credit multiplier. It is equal to 1 by RR. So this is possible only so long as people have confidence in the banking system of the country. लोग बैंक में क्यों डालते हैं पैसा? Because they trust the banking system. What if banking system suffers crisis? Who will give the money to the banks then? It is the RBI. Fine. So when the depositors start fearing that bank may run out of its cash reserve, they start withdrawing their deposits beyond what bank can afford at a time. It is in such a situation that central bank act as a lender of last resort. It offers loan to the commercial bank to cope with the crisis of confidence. Then custodian of foreign exchange. Central bank is the custodian of nation's foreign exchange reserves. It also exercises managed floating to ensure the stability of exchange rate in the international money market. Now, what is managed floating? Managed floating means sale and purchase of foreign exchange with a view to bring stability for the exchange rate for the domestic market. For just present chapter you understand only this concept कि देखो कभी करेंसी की वैल्यू ऊपर जाती है, कभी करेंसी की वैल्यू नीचे आ जाती है, कभी करेंसी बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग बन जाती है, कभी करेंसी का डेप्रिसिएशन हो जाता है. ठीक है, तो ये एप्रिसिएशन डेप्रिसिएशन फॉरेन करेंसी कैसे ऑपरेट करेगी, दिस इज ऑल अंडर द ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑफ सेंट्रल बैंक. फाइन. आरबीआई इज द कस्टोडियन ऑफ जितना भी फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व्स आता है वो आरबीआई अपना मेंटेन करके रखता है. ऐसा आपको हमने पिछले चैप्टर में किया था कि 115 करोड़ का गोल्ड रखना पड़ता है गवर्नमेंट को आरबीआई के पास और 85 करोड़ की फॉरेन सिक्योरिटीज रखनी होती है आरबीआई के पास ताकि आरबीआई नोट इशू करे आगे. ठीक है, सो दिस इज व्हाट कि आरबीआई अपना एक अलग से फॉरेन एक्सचेंज रिजर्व बना के रखता है फॉर द फॉरेन सिक्योरिटीज and it also work in the international money market for the stability in the foreign exchange rate. Clearing house function. Central bank performs the function of clearing house also. So let's take an example. Suppose bank A receives a check of rupees 10,000 drawn on a bank B and bank B receives a check of 15,000 drawn on a bank A. So here both bank A and B have their accounts in the central bank. तो अब क्या करेगा सेंट्रल बैंक, दोनों के चेक क्लियर कर देगा, इसका पैसा उसके रिस्पेक्टिव बैंक में ट्रांसफर कर देगा. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर सपोज करो मेरा अकाउंट जो है एचडीएफसी बैंक में है और मैं जाती हूँ एक्सिस बैंक में अपना चेक के लिए और वो चेक है एचडीएफसी बैंक का. ठीक है, और एक कस्टमर जाता है एचडीएफसी बैंक में एक्सिस बैंक का चेक लेके, तो यहाँ पे आरबीआई क्या करेगा, दोनों का अकाउंट आरबीआई के पास है तो आरबीआई विल एक्ट एज अ क्लियरिंग हाउस फंक्शन. रिस्पेक्टिव अकाउंट्स में रिस्पेक्टिव बैंक का अमाउंट ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा. फाइन. सो ऑल द बैंकिंग सिस्टम इज ऑपरेटेड बाय द आरबीआई, बाय द सेंट्रल बैंक. Are you getting this point? So we have done the functions bank of issuing notes and do remember जो 1 रुपए के सिक्के होते हैं जो 1 रुपए के नोट होते हैं और जितने भी सिक्के होते हैं they are issued by Ministry of Finance. Fine. And all the notes they are issued by RBI. All the 1 rupee notes and coins they are issued by Ministry of Finance. Clear? So function of RBI, bank of issuing notes, banker to the government, banker भी है, agent भी है, advisor भी है, bankers bank and supervisory role, lender of last resort, custodian of foreign exchange and clearing house function. Last function of central bank is control of credit. See, principal function of the central bank is to control the supply of money in the economy. It implies increase or decrease in the supply of money in the economy by regulating the creation of credit by the commercial bank. कितना अमाउंट क्रिएट करना है इकोनॉमी में, कितनी मनी सप्लाई क्रिएट करनी है इकोनॉमी में और कितना पैसा इकोनॉमी से वापस निकालना है. दिस इज द मेजर फंक्शन ऑफ आरबीआई. ड्यूरिंग इन्फ्लेशन और सिचुएशन कैसे कंट्रोल करना है, द सेंट्रल बैंक नीड्स टू कंट्रोल द सप्लाई ऑफ मनी टू कोप विद द सिचुएशन ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन एंड डिफ्लेशन. During inflation, supply of money is reduced, and during deflation, it is boosted. Supply of money is boosted, and we have seen in our quantitative and qualitative instruments of monetary supply that how the central bank do that. So performing all these functions, central bank focuses on growth with stability. Growth refers to a sustained rise in GDP. What is GDP? Gross Domestic Product. And stability refers to the elimination of inflationary and deflationary situations in the economy. So here we have completed our chapter number 5, banking. Revise this chapter completely.